DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Tonight, Delaware's push towards recreational marijuana heats up. What Wilmington's new regulations mean for local businesses. Plus, severe drought conditions and increased fire risks. Delaware faces a dry spell with temps on the rise. What this means for your weekend plans. And in sports, we'll preview the high school football matchups you just can't miss. Plus, Shakara will have your weekend weather forecast. Those stories and much more straight ahead on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to this DETV News Brief. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks for being with us for this Thursday, October 24th. Here's what's making headlines today across the first state. 5 firefighters were injured Wednesday evening while battling a house fire in the Colonial Heights neighborhood near Wilmington. The fire broke out shortly after 5 p.m. on the 100 block of South Colonial Avenue, prompting a response from 9 different fire companies. A 25-year-old firefighter is said to have suffered facial burns and was taken to the hospital in serious condition. 4 other firefighters, we're told, were treated for burns and possible internal injuries and are said to be in stable condition. Today, 2 have been released from the hospital. That's according to a Wilmington Fire Department spokesperson. No residents were injured or trapped inside the home. The cause of the fire is being investigated by the state fire marshal's office. And Delaware started the week with a warm temperature in the 80s and low 70s, contributing to drought conditions. However, the National Weather Service issued a warning for an increased risk of fire spread on October 23rd. Humidity is expected to drop into the 30s and 40% range, with winds up to 20 miles an hour and temps in the mid-70s. Most of Delaware is in a moderate drought, as we've told you throughout the week, while some areas face a severe drought. Conditions have worsened with no significant rainfall in the past 30 days. Outdoor burning is discouraged and dry spell is forecasted to continue.
DETV News Weather is brought to you by Real Life Prosthetics. Live life fully with Real Life Prosthetics. Your ability is our mission. That's right, Matt. I know that there are folks that are having Halloween parties this weekend with bonfires, but not this time. Let's all try to be careful out there. Well, on to a lighter note, it's Thursday, everyone, and that means Friday is approaching. We made it. Today was a gorgeous day. I got to walk in, got my favorite drink at my favorite coffee place, so all is well in the world. Let's see if the gorgeous days continue for Friday and for the weekend. For Feel Good Friday, expect a picture-perfect fall day with sunny skies throughout, with comfortable high temperatures reaching around 66 degrees. There will be a light breeze, keeping things crisp but not too chilly. As the day winds down, temperatures will drop to a cool 41 degrees by the evening, so Friday is set to be a great start to the weekend. Saturday will be a slightly warmer day at 69 degrees, with morning clouds giving way to sunshine by the afternoon. It'll be a pleasant, mild day with no rain expected. Wrapping up the weekend on Football Sunday, we will have cooler temps with highs around 61 degrees. You can expect some morning clouds, but it will stay dry and clear up as the day progresses. Now, let's take this nice weather and get outside this weekend. Here are a few things that you might want to check out. How about a great football game? It's University of Delaware's homecoming. So all Blue Hens out there, make sure you check out UD versus University of Albany. There'll be tailgating, food, drinks, and live music. They also have plenty of other homecoming week events, so be sure to check out UD's webpage for more info. If you have some little ones out there, check out the Halloween Express presented by Wilmington and Western Railroad. There will be a friendly witch that visits the ride and casts friendly spells to all the kiddos. If you come in costume, adults and children, you can ride for just $10 for an hour-and-a-half train ride. Bring some snacks and lunch to munch on during their 30-minute layover at the Mount Cuba Picnic Grove. And for those that will be around the beach area, head to Rehoboth for the Sea Witch Festival. Now this sounds so cute, so I may have to check this one out too. A sea witch paranormal piranha swims into town for the annual Sea Witch Festival. There will be a costume parade, indoor and outdoor vendor shows, kids games, live entertainment, and a costume dog parade. There will also be live entertainment in the Rehoboth Beach Convention Center. So there you have it, ladies and gents, weather and events all packaged up in one. Good luck to all Delaware teams playing this weekend, and go Eagles and go Sixers. Stay bright, stay positive. DETV fam, back to you, Matt.
Shakara, thank you. Sounds good. I'll actually be at the Sea Witch Festival this weekend in Rehoboth, so I hope to see a lot of you there. In other news tonight, Delaware is gearing up for its marijuana business launch as the first licenses are set to be awarded today. The state's Office of the Marijuana Commissioner is hosting a lottery on Facebook. They did that this morning at 9 a.m. to determine who would receive licenses for cultivation and manufacturing. Out of over 1,260 applicants, 727 made it to the lottery round. Social equity retail licenses are part of today's lottery, while other retail licenses will be decided in December. Testing labs and micro cultivation licenses didn't need a lottery due to fewer applicants. The lottery process is being monitored to ensure transparency, and licenses for cultivation will be awarded by November 1st. And in other headlines tonight, an 81-year-old federal inmate faces new charges after police found buried sexual abuse materials in his parents' Newcastle County backyard. Prosecutors say Alfred Daking Jr. provided a fellow inmate with a hand-drawn map leading to the site, where authorities say they uncovered a can holding camera film and 3 videotapes. One of those tapes had the man's fingerprints on them. He is serving a 15-year sentence for sending explicit material to a minor. U.S. Attorney David Weiss says they remain committed to uncovering hidden evidence and seeking justice. Authorities are investigating to find additional victims and urge anyone with information to contact the FBI's Baltimore field office. In related news, detectives arrested a 20-year-old Milford man following a lengthy investigation into alleged sexual interactions with 2 minors. Marquez Davis faces multiple charges, including sexual exploitation of a child and 3rd and 4th degree rape, sexual extortion, and strangulation, among a slew of other charges. Davis was committed to the Department of Correction in lieu of a $338,000 bail and issued a no-contact order with those victims. He is scheduled to appear in Kent County Court of Common Pleas for a preliminary hearing. Detectives believe there may be additional victims and encourage anyone with information to call 302-422-8081, extension 5164. And police here in Delaware will stop enforcing loitering and solicitation laws in public areas. This is following an agreement between the Delaware Department of Justice and the ACLU. The decision stems from a 2023 lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of the statutes, which the ACLU argued criminalize homelessness. Attorney General Kathy Jennings, while not declaring the laws unconstitutional, instructed prosecutors and law enforcement to halt enforcement of these statutes. She urged lawmakers to amend the laws to align with constitutional protections. The laws will still apply to private property. Advocacy groups like the Friendship House applauded the decision as a step forward towards fairer treatment of unhoused individuals. The DOJ plans to draft legislative amendments and provide training for law enforcement. And with just 12 days from the general election, if you can believe it, early voting kicks off next week. Voters can cast their ballots early starting October 25th, with polling places open in all 3 Delaware counties from October 25th through the 29th. Polls will be open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and from October 30th to November 3rd, hours will be extended from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Note that there will be no early voting on November 4th. Voters must vote in their county of residence. Election day is November 5th, of course, with polls open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And officials announced Wednesday that a new diesel-electric hybrid ferry will join the Cape May Lewis ferry fleet by summer 2027. This is replacing the aging MV Cape Henlopen. Delaware River and Bay Authority leaders and local politicians gathered in Lewis for the announcement yesterday. The $74 million vessel will reduce emissions and cut fuel by 35%. The project received $20 million from the U.S. Department of Transportation. Delaware River and Bay Authority officials said the new ferry will support cleaner and more sustainable operations. Construction is set to start next summer, with design completion expected by the end of the year. The Cape May Lewis ferry has connected Delaware and New Jersey since 1964. Hey, speaking of connections, let's pivot to another type of teamwork on the field as we dive into this week's sports happenings, recapping the scores from soccer, field hockey, and volleyball. Plus the latest football rankings, of course, as we head into Week 8. Nick is here live in the studio with that and much more. Hey, Nick.
Thank you, Matt. And we're going to jump into our DIAA score recaps for soccer, field hockey, and volleyball from earlier this week. Then we're going to get you those DLS updated football rankings as we look ahead to coming up here in week number 8. But first, let's take a look at those scores from field hockey earlier this week. Dennis is going to flash them for you up on your screen right now. Let's start with field hockey. A lot of action here coming at you here so far this week. Got some big wins for Brandywine, MOT Charter, Smyrna, and Caravel, 3-2 over Lake Forest. And then Sussex Academy, Odessa, Middletown getting a win there twice this week over DMA and Newark, a 1-0 victory for Apo over Mount Pleasant and DMA over Conrad. Taking a look now at the rest of some of the action here from field hockey from last week. Page number 2, St. Mark's over Padua, Archmere getting a win over Tower Hill, Delmar over Laurel, Milford over Cesar Rodney, and you see some of those other big ones. Sussex Central 3-2 over Dover, and then Indian River rounding it out 8-0 over Seaford, McCain, and Hodson as that game was suspended. Now let's get you some of the scores from boys soccer and volleyball, and let's start with the boys out on the soccer field. It's going to go here as your soccer recap. These scores, of course, brought to you by the DIAA. Up first, you see there on your screen, Tower Hill over Concord, 3-0. Mount Pleasant over Hodson. Charter, Delcastle, and St. George's getting wins. And then Dickinson, Indian River, and Tatnall. Polytech 2-1 there over Smyrna. You're going to see now page number 2. A lot of action this week, and let's take a look at it. Cesar Rodney, 3-2 over Milford. Delmar, 1-0 over Laurel. Sussex Academy and Sussex Central both scoring 4-0 victories over Woodbridge and Dover. Sally's 6-1 over Caravel, a big matchup there. And then DMA, Sussex Tech, Middletown, and Conrad. Well, now let's head over to the hardwood for some of your volleyball scores. 2 pages of these as well, courtesy of the DIAA. And it all starts here with Mount Pleasant, 3-0, Odyssey over William Penn, and then Sussex Tech, Hodson, DMA, Odessa, and Dickinson, all getting victories there on that first page. Another one coming at you here, page number 2. Cesar Rodney, DMA, of course, and a couple other ones. You check out some of those scores. So we've got 6 pages full recaps coming into this week. Of course, so week 7, though, is in the books now as we look ahead to week number 8. So now let's shift to football here, some shuffling in the rankings in all 3 classes, and now they're going to look kind of like this. We're going to start with Class 1A as we head in to, of course, week number 8 out on the football field. It starts with number 1, same number 1 as last week. Indian River taking that top spot. Tatnall back at number 2, your defending state champs. Polytech, First Aid Military, Brandywine, St. Elizabeth's, and Christiana. Now that'll take us to our Class 2A rankings here on your screen. Same team sitting atop there again. It's the Caravel Buccaneers, undefeated state champs, as your Class 2A number 1. At number 2, it's the Woodbridge Blue Raiders making their all the way up to number 2. Red Lion 3, Archmere 4, Delaware Military Academy 5, Delmar 6, and Laurel 7. That'll take us now to Class 3A. And once again, Salesianum undefeated. That big win over Appoquinimink, number 1 versus number 2 last week. They're going to still sit pretty at number 1. Appo's still going to sit at number 2 after that tough loss. Sussex Central, Middletown 3-4. Cape Penlopen, Smyrna, and Hodson rounding out the Super 7. So now let's get you the games to watch this weekend and where you can catch them live. Well, first on Friday night, it's the Dover Senators. They're heading down to the Castle to take on number 3 Sussex Central in a battle of 3A. Benny Mitchell and the crew are on the call with that one. Kickoff set for 7 p.m. live on Delaware Live Sports. Next up, still on Friday night, is that big one in Class 3A. The defending state champs, number 1 Salesianum, travel to Cavalier Stadium to take on the number 4 6-1 Middletown Cavaliers. You can join myself, Glenn Frazier, and Pat Garanis for a 7 p.m. kickoff on Delaware Live Sports. Just search 302 Sports on YouTube. Well, rounding out the sports news tonight, the DIAA has issued a formal letter of reprimand to Indian River High School for having student athletes in a TV commercial. The letter issued Tuesday cites that the school failed to comply with DIAA regulations concerning student athlete eligibility and amateur status following an investigation into the participation of the Indian River school football team in a television commercial promoting Hershey Exteriors, a roofing and remodeling company based in Seaford. Well, in addition to the letter of reprimand, DIAA requests that the immediate removal of the commercial from Draper Media, WBOC, who originally broadcasted that video. So some interesting things going on Dow State. Matt, we're going to have to work on some of this high school NIL stuff here as we go forward.
In other headlines tonight, Delaware State University honored one of America's aviation heroes by naming one of its planes after Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy, a member of the famed Tuskegee Airmen. At a ceremony held Tuesday at Delaware Air Park in Dover, university officials unveiled the Piper Arrow, part of DSU's aviation program, now proudly bearing Hardy's name. Although Hardy could not attend in person, the event paid tribute to his extraordinary legacy. Hardy, now 99 years young, is one of the last surviving members of the Tuskegee Airmen, the all-black squadron known for their courage and skill during World War II. The group became famous for flying long-range bomber escort missions, with their fighter planes easily recognized by the red tail. Over his 28-year military career, Hardy flew an impressive 136 combat missions, 21 in World War II, 45 in Korea, and 70 in Vietnam. He was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross and the Air Medal with 11 oak leaf clusters for his valor. A native of Philadelphia, Hardy now lives down in Florida, where he continues to inspire future generations of pilots. And it's Peace Week in Delaware, and organizers have scheduled 50 events throughout the state to mark the occasion and promote peace, nonviolence, and justice here in the first state. One event was Pizza with Police, held Tuesday at the Woodlawn Library. Officers said such events help to increase communication between the department and its residents.
And today I'm here for Peace Week. We get a chance to come out here and engage with the community, talk about what Wilmington Police, different aspects of what we do. And I brought some of my units out here today, from the community engagement unit to my boss, Major Hall, and some of the partners in care programs and some dogs. So it's an awesome event.
Peace Week was founded in 2016 by members of the Movement for a Culture of Peace, a diverse coalition of individuals and organizations concerned about violence in Delaware. And before we sign off tonight, winners have been selected at the first annual photography contest sponsored by the Latin American Community Center. The contest was centered around the powerful theme, Portraits of Addiction. Here's DETV's Evan Jurista with more.
3 people lying beneath the stop sign, a cuddly kitten, a blurry dart bus seemingly speeding down Market Street. These are a few of the most striking images from the photography showcase held at Wilmington's Latin American Community Center yesterday afternoon. This event marked the culmination of a contest issued in early October, in which a group of keen-eyed photographers took to our city in an effort to best satisfy this year's prompt, Portraits of Dependency. After waiting just over a week for the final results, participants gathered Wednesday to share their creative takes on the prompt, enjoy light refreshments, and see who won the photography gear designated for the top 3. While these awards were a nice novelty, however, second-place winner Elijah Andrade shared that the decision to enter his photo entitled Paper Trails wasn't really about a prize.
My initial reasoning for participating, I really didn't care about the prize or anything else. As a photographer, I always wanted to see my picture hung up. That was a huge thing.
The creativity and sense of community found in this contest seemed to be a draw for many participants. According to Lindsay Jimenez, a contest organizer and specialist in the Latin American Community Center's Prevention Promoters program, the photography contest has amassed something of a cult following. After deciding not to hold it in recent years, this October marked a step towards bringing it back in a more permanent way.
The photography contest is not new to the LACC. We have had it years prior. The team at the time had it going on probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and we had a lot of people asking for it to come back. Staff, people in the community, they wanted to see the photography contest come in. So this is our first year of revamping and bringing it back to the community.
Along with much of the community, we're excited to see the photos that come out of this contest in years to come. This is Evan Jurista with DETV, signing off.
Evan, great report there. Thank you so much. That's going to do it for tonight's DETV News Brief. Don't forget to follow us all along your favorite social media platforms for more updates on what's happening all around the great state of Delaware. And if you have a comment, question, news, or sports tip, send it our way. Contact us at press@detvch.com. For Nick, Shakara, and all of us here at DETV, I'm Matt Ford. We'll see you next week. Good night. We don't talk about prostate cancer enough, and it's the most diagnosed form of cancer and the second most common cause of cancer death among black men in both Delaware and the United States. Approximately 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but just by asking your healthcare provider if you should get a screening could help you detect prostate cancer early and save your life. So let's talk about it. Talk to your healthcare provider today about a prostate cancer screening if you are 40 years of age or older, or have a family history of prostate cancer. If you don't have insurance, or if your insurance doesn't pay for cancer screenings, Screening for Life may provide you with the screenings that you need, and Nurse Navigators make this process easier. To learn more, visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211. Ask your healthcare provider about a prostate cancer screening, and you're asking for so much more.
My name is Jason Aviles, and I am the founder and owner of Fly Yogi, and I'm here to share with you some tips to be able to help fight opioid addiction. Opioid addiction is a real growing problem here in America, and I'm here to share with you some tips that you can be able to integrate into your everyday life to really fight against opioid addiction. One of the first things is redeveloping your mindset. One of the practices that I like to use daily is meditation. And what meditation does is it brings you clarity of mind, and it helps keep you grounded, and it improves your ability to make decisions that you are going to benefit from. A lot of the time we find that addiction is rooted in our mindset. It's rooted in how we think and how we perceive, and therefore how we act. So this is a really good way to help fight against that energy of addiction. The second thing is improving your lifestyle through diet and exercise. At the very root of addiction, there is substances within the body that's causing the addiction on a physical level. When we begin to introduce healthier foods, plant-based foods, we begin to remove and detox the substances that are in our body that's causing and attracting the addiction. So through incorporating more fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and even drinking water on a daily basis, you're going to put your body in a state where it's going to be able to fight the root causes of these addictions. The second part is exercise. Exercise is good for mood. It's good for energy. It's good to increase vitality. It's good to get your heart pumping and get your blood flowing and get oxygen moving throughout the body. So through engaging in physical exercise, complemented by incorporating healthier foods, you're putting your body and your mind in a state where it does not want what's causing these things that are manifesting negatively in your life. So addiction can really be decreased by just incorporating a healthier lifestyle through diet and nutrition, exercise, and then also making sure that you're tackling the mind through mindset, through meditation.